Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Has-Beens. It is Matt Burton here,
It's Braden Lara.
and another weekend down of college football.
Already a fourth of the way through the regular season, man. I like that.
It should be more. Ready for it. Ready for the end. But Ohio State comes into Norman. They just pretty much make OU like it. They make them like it. And leave with the victory. Yeah. Score prediction last week was 45-20. Final score 45-24.
And that's with the Mixon TD that counted.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That shouldn't have counted. That was awful.
There we go. Because like 15 players done it this week. I feel
Exactly.
Like, okay.
No, but yeah, that game was incredibly hard to watch. It made me think of the Baylor loss a couple years ago at home, and just where they were moving the ball, doing whatever they wanted to, and Mike Stoops and co on defense didn't really have a plan for it. And plus, we couldn't get anything going on offense, just like we couldn't on Saturday. The gap in talent was pretty obvious. Gap in coaching, obvious. And leadership, obvious.
Yeah.
So that to me really stuck out. And I think there's huge problems in Norman. Now there's chance to run the table, win the Big 12 title, but that looks pretty slim to none of that happening. The chances of that are pretty low.
And even if it does, I think the playoffs, unless like a bunch of pieces fall in place for OU, like this is for any Big 12 team, like the playoffs are just looking like not a thing right
Yeah,
now.
playoffs do not look very good. Plus, I think anyway, if Stanford wins, like say OU or OSU like goes in 2 losses, wins the Big 12, and say Stanford like loses 2 along the way, but they still win the Pac-12.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I think they might. I think they would go Stanford over the Big 12 champ.
I do too, because Stanford's, I know you're just using that as an example, but Stanford's like schedule is really tough, so it just kind of depends on where that loss was at. But I agree, the Big 12 went from looking really strong to not at the moment in the so far in non-conference, because only undefeated teams are I think Baylor and West Virginia right now.
Yep.
And West Virginia probably won't keep it up, and who knows with Baylor, honestly. They haven't really looked. I mean, they've won big, but they're not winning they're not playing like they would have. I feel like if Art Browse was their coach.
Yeah.
So but that I didn't see the first half of the OU game. I was listening to it on the radio on the way back from Stillwater, but it sounded like first of all, it sounded kind of like the beginning. OU was up for the challenge. Obviously, you knew they would be a home game, and OU like Bob Stoops been in games like that before, so he's going to rally the troops. But from what I was always hearing like Ohio State, if they had the ball, like 6-yard run, 8-yard run, like pass, for just like moving the ball steadily, which is
that's part of the problem.
Their tempo is so good.
That's part of the problem. You go into this game knowing they have a really good run game, and you still put 3 linemen down.
Mm-hmm. Is that what they did?
Yeah, we were on 3 down linemen.
Yeah.
Every time. Now that works against the spread and teams against the Big 12 because it's such a pass-happy league. But when you got this talented of a team who can run, it just didn't seem to me like they really game planned very well for that. But and that just goes to recruiting. I think they recruit for the Big 12 because that's obviously the majority of your games.
Yeah.
And the conference you have planned to win a conference championship. But as far as recruiting to play these non-conference games, especially if you're going to start scheduling tough opponents like we have with Houston and Ohio State in the same year, I think you may need to change up the recruiting strategy a little bit. And try to get a different game plan than 3 down linemen against a good running team.
Yeah, man. Ohio State, they're just a whole nother animal. I feel like Urban Meyer is just one of those coaches like
undefeated on the road.
19-0. I didn't know that
when he was at Ohio State.
Yeah, jeez, like that's remarkable.
Yeah.
honestly, like if he gets a couple more championships at Ohio State, which seems very likely, because he's not, he's 50 something, right, 52.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's him and Saban. I think they're in their own league right now, and I think Harbaugh's will be there. I think he's going to get a title at Michigan eventually if he doesn't leave for the NFL. But
Yeah, that's the only reason I don't put him on the same level. Just he hasn't won anything.
But I feel like Michigan's going to get there. But in the meantime, it's Urban and it's Saban, and their teams, like Urban's team, just come to play on the road. Like it's almost like they. And this is the thing that's kind of annoyed me about OSU over the years, is I feel like OSU has started to get the talent to compete every game, not win, but maybe compete. And I think it's part of Mike Gundy. He's growing as a coach because he started off like 35, so he's getting there. But it always kind of had like the sense like OSU would always play not to lose instead of playing to win.
Right.
And I feel like
right.
Ohio State's one of those perfect teams that just plays to win.
Exactly. They're super aggressive.
Yeah, they're aggressive. They'll
try to come punch you in the mouth.
Yeah, they know they rely on their athletes to get them the ball back if they're on defense. When I was listening to it on the radio, kind of an example of that is Dusty Dvorak was saying how Ohio State kind of has like that bend, don't break defense. And Baker's first interception the tipped one. I don't know if it was his first one, but that tipped one I guess came down kind of in the red zone area, down toward that field. He's like, just those guys can make plays when it counts on it, or when they make plays when they need to. Bend don't break, and I mean those athletes. It's just crazy how they recruit there.
Yeah. No, the thing that has kind of like stuck out to me is we don't have like dudes that just don't care. Kind of like they're just nasty, just dogs.
Yeah.
And we haven't had that in a long, long time. Jamal Brown, former offensive lineman for OU, even I believe it was 2 years ago, just said that they don't recruit those guys anymore. They don't recruit just just the dogs. And like he said when Kevin Wilson left, when Kevin Wilson left OU, he said that's when it stopped, because he said Kevin Wilson would go into any like inner city or anything like that. He'd go anywhere to get any player just with a little nasty streak.
Yeah.
And you don't see that at Oklahoma right now.
Yeah, it is crazy because like it's weird because on paper OU like they have the athletes, they have like the best backfield in the country maybe, and Baker's a baller. Well, that's another thing also, because I know after the Houston game, Baker in his press conference was talking about he needs to like worry about the fundamentals and what he can like quit being as greedy.
Yeah.
And from what I was reading some articles about this game. I heard he kind of try to make things happen that weren't there. And I feel like that's just what you're gonna get when you have Baker. Like he's just a gamer, and he's gonna try to make those big plays. But I mean, you'll take that any day. I feel like you'll take him any day. You'll take those mistakes as what he can bring to the table. But the thing is, like Ohio State, they're a team where if you turn it over, they'll score off that. Other teams you can afford to have some turnovers. You don't want to have them, but you can trust your defense to stop most teams in the Big 12. OU has that kind of defense, but Ohio State, that's a team like you just can't allow them to have those turnovers.
OU's defense is where it's kind of been just so bad to watch.
Sounds like secondary is just.
It's been so difficult to watch. Yeah, I mean, we played, I think, probably every scholarship player we've had as a corner.
Just to try him
out. Just because we can't find one opposite Jordan Thomas. And even Jordan Thomas got burned a lot yesterday. But I don't think that was necessarily like the players' fault as much as it was Ohio State being that much better. Like they were just so much better. It was so obvious and really hard to watch. OU just kind of take that beating, just kind of laying down, and not even trying to.
Man, when you come,
I'm not saying they're not trying to put up a fight, because I don't think they're not playing hard or not giving everything you got. But you can also tell just on the body language, like when we lost momentum, we got down like however many touchdowns, lost all that momentum, just completely flat. And you can see it body language wise. They're just kind of shrugging the shoulders.
Yeah.
And it's over at that point.
Yeah. And that's a lot of it's trusting your coaches to have a game plan in place.
Yeah.
And so I mean, you brought that up a couple of weeks ago about Mike Stoops, when it comes to those quarterbacks that can run.
Yeah, he can't do it. He can't.
And JT Barrett, he might be the best one of all. I mean, he's about to go down in the record books as Ohio State's best quarterback of all time. That's saying something. So
the biggest injustice of Oklahoma football came when we let Brent Venables go. When we
Yeah.
hire, he was already our defensive coordinator for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Stoops wants to come back and be the D coordinator, and they go to Brent Venables and say, "Yeah, we're gonna make you and Mike Stoops co-defensive coordinators, even though you've been you've been doing a good job, as our D coordinator. We're gonna give you a co-defensive coordinator."
Yeah.
He's pretty much said, "Nope, not doing that. See ya,
I
off to
don't blame
Clemson,"
him.
and then, I mean, just kicks our tails the past 2 years with Clemson, and we can't do anything to stop it. I mean, we scored 17 last year against his defense, and then like 6 the year before, against Brent Venables. So I think that was the biggest injustice of OU football, letting Brent Venables go.
Yeah, I felt, and for like the early 2000s, like when I remember started watching football growing up, it's like OU, like their identity was their defense. You know? Like I mean, toward the end of the 2000s, early, they had obviously that's when Jason Wyden, he was middle, early middle, but then the really high flying offenses came when Sam Bradford started playing and Landry Jones. But for that, like when they were winning the championship, and those years they were destroying Texas, it was Tommy Harris, Rocky Calmus, it was Derek Strait. Like it was just defense, and Brent Venables, great defensive coordinator. And he puts the athletes in he get him the good athletes, and he'll put them in position to be successful. And that's what he's doing at Clemson. And
exactly, but I mean, the lack of leadership was obvious. The gap in class was obvious.
Yeah.
And really difficult to watch. I mean, we can't. I mean, I don't know the last time we've had a good kicker. I mean, he clanged it however many yards. It wasn't that far away. On the first drive, we're gonna go up 3-0. Maybe get like just a tiny bit of momentum. Get some points on the board, and then clang, boom.
Y'all need to go get yourself in a Gallo.
Yes, we do. Does he have any brothers?
Come on.
There are any more Aguayos? But no, it's hard to watch. It's a tough time. We'll never fire Bob Stoops because I think just based on conference championships, he's had too much success.
Yeah. I mean, he's
so I think just until he wants to leave. But for me, I think it's time for a change. I think it's just kind of come to like a stalemate where we're in kind of the same positions every year, not getting a whole lot better. But he will never. Bob Stoops will never get fired. So
he has that.
It's kind of like not on this scale, but because he hasn't won 12 conference championships in a row. But I compare him to Bill Self a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, like he's won a championship. He does really well.
Yeah.
Does really well, but he has these huge recruiting classes, like we had Andrew Wiggins and just
all
these
guys. Ousted by
guys.
Bucknell in the first round,
Right, exactly.
It's some team like that.
Yeah. So, but I mean, he's won. It's of course not on this scale.
Yeah.
Because Stoops hasn't won 12 in a row.
When I think of
but he's won a lot.
When I think of a coach to compare him to, I think of Les Miles because they both they've had that championship. They're both they get the recruits that you would think every team would kill to have that like the recruiting haul that OU and LSU bring in. But it's just kind of like there's just that one game, and then LSU's thing is it's like the core, their defense are always pretty good, but it's just like it's always like the quarterbacks. They're bringing these 5-stars and they can't produce, and then OU, I feel like kind of what you were saying, it's like the defensive part. It's not what it used to be, and like the offense is fine now. You're never gonna see like an OU offense that really struggles. Once they get going, but the defensive thing, that's just and you're right. It's like you recruit for the spread offenses in the Big 12, but Ohio State, it's the Big 10. Big 10, you got the teams that power, they'll run it down your throat, but then you have the teams that are starting to do spread, so they've got it all.
It's tough. It's tough because Mike Stoops does great against quarterbacks who can't run.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the Alabama game, the defensive game plan in that game was spot on because we had like 8 sacks. So the defensive game plan for quarterbacks who kind of stay in the pocket, and he can just send those outside guys, especially when we had like Stryker who just come off the line so fast and just run by your tackle, and then it's almost a sack every time.
That's what football's going toward.
But once we get up against a running quarterback, we can't stop it.
Yeah, and I've kind of noticed OSU, some of their past couple recruiting classes, they try to get more mobile quarterbacks. We got like a kid from Louisiana last year, so I think that's just what football's going toward. Like you have you just put athletes at the quarterback position. So
Yeah.
like they don't have to be able to throw 50 yards on the dime. They just need to be able to like create their own opportunities. Get out of the pocket, make some plays happen.
Mm-hmm. But moving on from the shipwreck that is Oklahoma football, cue Celine Dion. My heart will go on. OSU had him a day, especially Mason Rudolph and James Washington. I did say last week that they were due for a big-time game.
I did. Matt's been spot on with his predictions lately.
Yeah, that means it's time for a downfall.
Yeah.
I'm going to be completely wrong in the next couple.
Yeah, it was a big game in the sense that it was a bounce-back game.
Yeah.
Because people were riding some of the riders, like either, I don't know if it was like Eric Cooper at Tulsa World, but one of the riders was saying how this is like a defining moment for OSU season because you got punched in the mouth by Central Michigan, and even though they should have won, they lost, and they never should have been in that position to lose that game. But so this is a big, important game against Pitt, and going into it, I thought we'd win, but I really had no idea. I didn't know how they would respond, and kind of like what you were saying about how the defenses are built in the Big 12. OSU, a lot of athletes, a lot of speed, but I was worried because Pitt, they run it. They'll put 2 tight end sets, use the fullback, and then of course they got James Conner, 230-pound, like stud running back. He's like all conference material, and then their backup running back's like 235, and so I was really curious to see how OSU would do against them. They not great. I think I said just another one of my predictions I got wrong last week that OSU would keep Pitt's run game in check because I thought we were up to the challenge, but they're a bunch of. I think that would be a bigger line than we'd see this year in the Big 12. They're just big guys, and that's the style of football. But a win's a win. It's weird because as good as the offense was, I don't know how to feel about it. We finally we kind of improved in the run game. We had a 67-yard touchdown run. I can't remember the last, and it was like a legit one, like where people like our linemen and blockers got on defenders and created it. I don't know the last time we got a big long run like that. That it wasn't just like the defense messed up. So we had a running back. We had a 100-yard rusher. Gets a Power 5 school. That's pretty good. And then he had 4 rushing touchdowns. Randy Childs did. So offensive line, much better pass blocking too. And I'm always going to talk about this on the podcast every week, the O line, because that's what's going to like determine how good we are.
Yeah.
Because defense, our defense is just. They're just going to make mistakes, so I'm prepared to live with that. But it's the O-line. Like, if we can run the ball, because that's what Ohio State does. You run the ball, you can set up anything. Like,
exactly.
OU last year, you give it, and especially Bedlam, they give it to Mixon and Pirine. Well, that just opens up, like, the passing game because we're putting 8 in the box to stop Pirine and Mixon. So, so if OSU can continue to get better, I mean, we're not going to be – I'm not expecting to have, like, a 2011 type O-line, but – just keep making improvements, especially heading in the conference when it really matters. But it was a good win. I actually think Mason, I love the game plan. Just throw it downfield, let your athletes make a play.
Exactly.
Because against Central Michigan, we were just these short out routes, and I hate that. Like it moves the ball, but eventually people, they just catch on, Central Michigan had a good enough secondary that they were able to stop it. But I'm like, just throw the ball to James Washington. Like, he's the athlete, throw it to – just take shots. I'm okay with that. Like he missed like 20 completions, but some were just drop balls downfield. Some, Mason was a little off, but he bounced back big time from that game last weekend where he played horrible. So he did a really good job. And if that's how we play, if that's our offense, where we can throw it long and open up a little bit of run game, just get 4 or 5 yards of carry, then that's perfect. I'll take that because I feel like we have a receiving core that can do that, especially when we get Aitman back in October. I think he's coming back pretty soon, but. James Washington, he's a stud. That's kind of that's Gundy's thing right there. He finds these 2-star recruits from 200 people towns, and turns them into freaks. But as long as he stays healthy and we get Aitman back, I think we can be competitive. But as I was telling my friends, Oklahoma State's like a weird thing because I could see us like not winning any game besides Kansas and Iowa State, and I could see us winning every game, Just that's college football, and that's just how this team is. Just are we playing good? Or are we playing bad that day? And how's the other team playing? So
that's how the entire Big 12 is going to be.
And it's going to be fun to watch. Baylor's this weekend. I'm nervous about that because, I believe in Glenn Spencer so much. I love Glenn Spencer, but just sometimes our secondary is a little suspect. I'm not worried about the safeties, but Ramon Richards, he's a good cornerback. He's athletic, but he'll get burned a lot.
Yeah.
But he's like one of those guys. He'll take his mistakes because he'll come up with an interception to seal the game. So
yeah.
But Baylor, Baylor, they're kind of the team. They're that big spread team, but they like to run the ball. And last year they torched us like all over the place. I think they had like 330 yards on the ground, which is embarrassing. So I'm excited for it. I think we can beat them. I don't know if we will. I'm going to go ahead and do my score prediction now.
All right, let's get it out of the way.
Pride myself on being a realistic OSU fan. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to say that I think I'll give it to them. I'll say 41. I'll say like a 41-34 kind of game.
For
Baylor.
For Baylor?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I hope I'm wrong, but it's just, and they haven't played that good this year. Like, that's the thing. Like, we'll be the best team they played so far. Whereas, last year they played us late in the year, and by that point, all teams get rolling. Like, you saw OU, every team except like TCU kind of, towards October, November, everything clicks. Your offense is great.
Mm-hmm.
So Baylor, even though they've been blowing out these cupcake teams, like, their offense hasn't looked that great. Seth Russell hasn't looked that great. So maybe we can go in there and, get one from them because, I don't know, I think Baylor, they have like I don't know who they have coming up, but, I don't know, with that loss to OSU, I don't know if they might be overlooking us, but it'll be an exciting game. It's a night game too, so they'll have their little, they're having like a gold out, so
right.
It'll be interesting. I'll be down there though. I hope we win, but we'll see.
Score prediction. Well, OU is going to beat bye.
So who do you have?
They're going to beat bye.
They're going to beat bye.
They're going to beat the bye week.
That's prediction too.
Yeah, I'm not like super confident in that we're going to beat them, but all right. So we're 4-2 apiece.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna have to happen at some point. We're gonna have to break this deadlock. So I'm gonna take OSU 45-34. OSU 45-34.
I hope you're right.
So we're gonna finally break this deadlock that we have, this tie.
We'll see. Yes.
So I got OSU, and of course OU winning against Boston.
Man, even if OSU wins out, I'm gonna be mad because Matt will be in the lead on the predictions.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it'll be good, man. I love when conference play kicks off.
Yes, definitely.
It's always fun. OU, I know they're, like you said, they're bye this week, but TCU in 2 weekends, right?
At TCU.
It's a big game too. I mean, even though TCU, not the team we thought they were, they lost Arkansas. That's in TCU, and that's still Gary Patterson coach team. Yep. So you gotta be ready for them.
But that brings us to the segment known in Columbus, Ohio, as Some Type of Way.
I drop top of my whip, that car driving make you feel some type of way. I know you do. That custom brightly make you feel some type of way.
So, Braden, what's got you feeling some type of way?
Before we get to that, weekly Cubs update.
Ooh, yes.
Since we last had this last week's Cubs update, we are now the NL Central champs.
Clinch the division.
I
like it.
We clinched it on the Cardinals' loss out in San. They were playing San Francisco, and we lost to Milwaukee that day. But then they ended up losing to San Francisco that night. We won. I'll take it. I'm happy. So I think now it's just kind of like, how does Madden like rest his players? You want to have them fresh for October,
right.
Postseason, but you want to not let them get too comfortable. So clinched it. I hope we get 100 wins. That'd be really cool because I thought we were actually 2 or 3 years away from that. And,
right.
Theo Epstein, he's like the smartest guy ever. I love him. Look what he's done. But,
he is.
Yeah, so that's the Cubs update for all you Cubs fans out there and you Cardinals fans. But what has me feel some type of way? I'll tell you what has me feel some type of way. Athletes, quit dropping the ball before you get to the end zone.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, I know, like, I've never scored a touchdown, okay? I'm sure it's a great feeling, like, when you're just streaking down the sideline and there's, like, tens of thousands of people either cheering for you or, like, you're just making them mad because you're on the road. But, like, just all you have to do is just cross the end zone, you know? Like,
Seriously.
leave no doubt.
Oh my goodness.
Deshaun Jackson, what have you done? You know, like, Barry Sanders scores 40 touchdowns a year, hands the ball to the ref every single time. You just leave, you know, just like, if you, like, why would you want to lose on that game? In that Cal-Texas game, like, that's what the Cal player did.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
And, yeah, they, I don't know how, they ruled it like, a Texas player got it, but he didn't immediately get it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a stupid rule, by the way.
Yeah, I don't like Texas, but come on. You know, it's not the refs' year this year. But
No.
I just feel like if I was a coach, I would, like, if you do that, you're sitting out the next week. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, if you're
You
gonna
just cost
call,
us.
if you lose a game like that, or you even like put it to doubt like that because you didn't put the ball, if you didn't wait 3 more inches, you know, to let the
Right.
ball cross the end zone. But yeah,
And then Mixon had his allowed, too.
Yeah, you know, I mean, a lot of times.
I don't know how they didn't catch it.
Yeah, I know.
That's stupid to me. Like, it's clear.
Yeah, I mean, it's just as cool if you do it 5 yards in the end zone as it is if you do it at the 1-inch line. But,
Right.
yeah, so.
Yeah, I don't know. That's I don't get how you do that. I don't get it. But maybe, you know, caught up in the moment, I guess, and
Yeah,
just lose yourself. I don't know.
I mean, you get flagged if you spike the ball. Maybe that's what they gotta just throw it like that.
Exactly. All right. What's got me feeling some type of way? Not a whole lot making me feel some type of way, honestly. I figured that OU loss would come, and it did, and I moved on from it already. You know, I'm about to sublimate the Sooners like I have the Atlanta Braves.
I think sports has just turned us into this. We don't even feel some type of way that much really about important things because it's what our teams have done to us.
Exactly. We're damaged. But I'm
see,
gonna get a Jared Leto head tattoo from the Joker, and it just says "damaged" with an OU logo right next to it.
I hate that I love sports so much.
Right? This is what happens. Like, I love OU so much that
Yeah.
I hate their guts.
Right?
I hate everything about them.
I go back and watch 2011 OSU highlights all the time. Like, you know what? Yeah, I'm living in the past. I'll take
2000 wasn't that long
2000
ago.
Wasn't that long? I still have my hat from that year.
I still have my tickets and everything. That pretty much does it from us. I wish we could go longer, but we can't because we're has-beens.